Hello everyone, welcome to the Karm Yogi IAS. Today, this is the second lecture of the UPSC relevant current affairs of PSIR for this year 2026 mains. So today we are going to talk about the important current affairs topic which is relevant for paper 2 PSIR 2026, which is going to take place in just few days. So these are some topics that you can just go through, and if you have already studied these topics very well, if you have already not studied these topics, you need to go into the depth, because paper 2 you will find many of such topic coming in your examination directly. So obviously I have promised earlier that whatever topics we are discussing, whatever topics I am just giving here, we will discuss all these topics. So don't worry, along with the notes and along with the current context and along with how we can use it in our optional paper, we will cover in the upcoming few days, like 10 days. In 10 days or 12 days, we will complete all the topics. After every 2-3 days, you will get one lecture in which you will get at least 4 or 5 topics covered, and along with that, you will get complete notes of it, and you can prepare your current affairs of PSIR by those notes, and you can write those notes in your examination to get good marks. Because often it is seen that in PSIR, students are not very well versed with the current affairs segment. They prepare the first A portion very well. They prepare about Plato, Aristotle, Machiavelli, even they prepare about Rousseau, which is not in the syllabus. But then also they forget to prepare about the current affairs, what is happening in India, what is happening around us in international context, in paper 2 context. And that's why they lack significantly into the examination. They end up getting 220, 230 marks, 210 marks in the PSIR optional, and despite getting very good marks, more than 400 marks in GS, they falter into the examination and does not get their name in the final selection list. So don't do this mistake, and you need to cover the current affairs thoroughly and apply it in your mains PSIR paper to get the good marks. At least you should get more than 250 marks, like 260, 270, 280, in that range, to get a good decent rank in your examination. If you do very well in GS, so obviously PSIR is one thing where you need to excel as well. So this is topic number 1, Trump 2.0 and India-US relation. Trump 2.0. Trump 2.0 is an entirely different phenomena with his protectionism, with his transactional approach, how India is dealing with his protectionist tariffs, with his claiming that he has ended the India-Pakistan war after the Operation Sindoor. So obviously all those things we need to cover in detail, because there might be one question in India-US relationship which I am predicting. Okay, so I am just going through the topic that you need to prepare. I am not going into the depth. In depth we will cover after 2-3 days. We will cover. Just now I am mentioning the topic, so that if till now you have already prepared, you can just look into the video and you can understand that if any topic which you have left already, you can cover at least the name of the topic and you can prepare for your exam. Second is India-China normalization and the Quad balance. So normalization of India-China relationship is taking place. Modi and Xi Jinping met at the SU summit in August-September last year 2025, and after that the normalization of relationship between India and China is taking place. The lowest point of India-China relation in the quite last 30-40 years was the Galwan crisis, and after that for the next 2-3 years, so India and China were not going well together, and now the normalcy is happening. And obviously with Trump in power in USA, and Trump is very unpredictable, we have to improve our relationship with China. So with that context, we are reading this India-China normalization and also the Quad balance. In Quad countries, you already know we have India, USA, Australia and Japan. So what is the Quad balance? So about Quad and Indo-Pacific angle with respect to the China, we need to study that. Third is Indo-Russia. Putin's December 2025 visit. Last year, Russian President Vladimir Putin visited India in December, and that was a very remarkable event, because after when Ukraine or Russia war began, that was the first time that Putin came to India. Before beginning of the Russia-Ukraine war in 2022, at that time, Putin came to India in December, and this time also he has came to India in December. So obviously, India-Russia relationship is going to be very, very important. Bangladesh political transition and also China's role, China's footprint into the Bangladesh. Sheikh Hasina exiting out, oyster of Sheikh Hasina, and coming of the new regime in Bangladesh. Is it going to be friendly for India or not? All those contexts we are going to study. Nepal, Gen Z uprising and its aftermath. Obviously, Nepal is one important topic that you should be covering. India-Afghanistan. India-Afghanistan relationship is always important. More often than not, you will find one question on Afghanistan for sure. Go through the PYQs and you will find in the last 10 years, almost 5-6 questions of Afghanistan has come into the examination. So even if in the news, not in the news, India-Afghanistan relations become important. Last year, Afghan Finance Foreign Minister Muttaqi visited Delhi on 10 October 2025. India upgraded its technical mission in Kabul to full embassy. Full embassy status we given after last year mains. So obviously, this becomes important for this year mains examination. Okay. UNSC reform is always an important topic. You should read more about it. UNSC reform, G4, what is G4 and how G4 is trying to reform the UNSC. Also, UNGA, United Nations General Assembly postponed reform talks for a 17th time in August 2025. G4 called it a blow to global trust in the United Nations. With so many wars happening around the world and United Nations has not been able to do anything because of the structural weakness, because of the structural deficiencies. That structural deficiency is nothing but the veto power. That structural deficiency is nothing but the structure of the UN, which is of after Second World War. So United Nations is crying for reform. Otherwise, this multilateral organization is failing, you can say. So obviously, we need UNSC reform, in particular veto reforms. India's BRICS chairmanship and de-dollarization. India's BRICS chairmanship. Obviously, this is very, very important. India holds the 2026 BRICS presidency, and the theme is building for resilience, innovation, cooperation and sustainability. In last 2 years, so many new countries have been added into the BRICS and it has become BRICS plus. So obviously BRICS in the last 2-3 years have gained a lot of importance, a lot of currency, a lot of weightage. And this year India is holding the BRICS conference, BRICS chairmanship. So this becomes important, and BRICS, one of the key agenda of BRICS is de-dollarization. Decreasing or try to decrease the weight of USA in the global financial domain. So that is de-dollarization that you need to study. Quad foreign minister, and here I have also mentioned that what topics are relevant. Indo-Pacific strategy, India-China normalization, Quad balance, also relevant. Which topic? Regionalization of world politics. So I have also mentioned the topic also. Quad foreign ministers meeting New Delhi. The Quad, obviously we have discussed. 11th Quad foreign minister meeting held in New Delhi on 26 May 2026. First Quad FM gathering on Indian soil since 2023. So after 3 years, Quad foreign minister meeting has held in India. So Quad becomes important. That I have already mentioned earlier also. India and the nuclear question. India and the nuclear question, and also the West Asia angle, the Iran angle, the Suez Canal angle, Suez Canal, no, Strait of Hormuz angle, that all becomes important this year. India and the nuclear question. Very, very important, because India has just commissioned INS Aridhman. INS Aridhman is the third nuclear capable submarine from where India can launch a nuclear missile. So this becomes very, very important. With three in numbers now, we become a truly triad, nuclear triad. So this is also about nuclear triad, and also we have developed more number of nuclear warheads as featured in SIPRI reports. So this becomes very, very important. Also the linkage with NPT, Non-Proliferation Treaty. India-Europe FTA push. India is doing so many FTAs with UK, with Europe, with New Zealand. So India and FTA is itself a very big, very important topic, and in that India and Europe FTA. India-UK CETA signed 27 July 2025. EU, India's largest trading partner, still has no concluded FTA, remains a top 2026 priority. So these are the things that we are going to study, and you should be studying it if you are appearing into this year UPSC mains examination with PSIR optional, obviously. West Asia, Gaza conflict and India's calculus, obviously. Israel, Palestine, Gaza and all. And obviously Iran is one separate angle that you must have studied till now. BMSTEC versus SARC, this is obviously one area where BMSTEC particularly where India is more putting its energy, and SARC is basically a dormant entity now. Why? So we already know because of India and Pakistan equations, the primary reason is obviously India and Pakistan equation. So more often than not, you will get a question on BMSTEC or SARC or both. So this is very, very important. If you have not prepared already, please prepare. WTO reform. WTO is one such topic which can come in every 2-3 years, because WTO from last so many years, 5-6 years, is not very functional. WTO, and WTO is also crying for reforms. WTO Ministerial Conference held in Yaoundé, Cameroon. Dispute settlement reform was the central unresolved agenda item. That was unresolved. Appellate body has been non-functional since Trump won, since 2019, when Trump blocked the judges' appointment. So this is very, very important again. BRICS expansion, obviously BRICS we have covered. This is the same topic. BRICS ka expansion, growth versus caution. So BRICS, dollarization of BRICS, one angle where India is holding the BRICS conferences and the de-dollarization, and other is BRICS is getting expanded, growth and caution. Caution is also very, very important. Next, and I think this is one of the very important, most important topic, is strategic autonomy under pressure. And Trump has put India into immense pressure in the last few months, and India's strategic autonomy is being questioned so many times. Or C. Raja Mohan, which is a well-known strategic expert, IR expert, questioned that India is a great power, always rising, never arriving. And the article came 2-3 days earlier in the newspaper. Obviously, he writes for Indian Express. China's expanding footprint in South Asia, obviously in Bangladesh, obviously in Nepal, obviously in Pakistan, Sri Lanka. So this is one aspect that you need to complete. Okay. So these are the topics. This is related to the paper 2, part A, section A, Trump, India, China, India, Russia, so many topics. And this is related to the section B. And if we can mark some of the important topics that can feature in your examination for sure. So one is US angle. US angle is, I think, very, very important. US angle is very, very important. Bangladesh, I think, is very, very important. BRICS is very, very important. FTAs is very, very important. So West Asia, Gaza, and also include Iran in it. That is very, very important. And strategic autonomy under pressure. At least you should prepare these 6 topics at least, because I think so in these 6 topics you might get 3-4 questions directly. So these are just the 16 topics that I have mentioned today, and all the topics are important. Obviously Russia is important, China is important, Nepal is also important, UNSC reforms are important, nuclear question is important. So these topics are obviously important. Quad angle is important. So at least these topics are very, very important that you should be covering. So I hope you have understood what topics you need to cover, and you should be having your pointers ready, your concept ready if questions are being asked from this topic in your PSIR optional. Even if you are preparing for GS, some topics can come directly into your examination. So that's it for today. Thank you and Jai Hind.